stop. Just stop accepting it. That smirk, that sneaky comment, that small jab, it is disrespect. And the second you brush it off, they win. You just train them to repeat it. But what if I told you there is one move, just one, that instantly changes the whole dynamic? After this, they will not test you again. Not ever. Toxic people are not monsters. They are opportunists. They do not disrespect you because they hate you. They disrespect you because they sense weakness. And weakness is not who you are. It is what you permit. One clear boundary, one calm but firm response, and everything shifts. Suddenly they understand you are not optional. You are not negotiable. You are not someone to play games with. Here is the truth. The moment you act, you reclaim your power. The first time they push, and you respond with zero hesitation, zero apology, zero drama, they learn a lesson they will remember. That smirk disappears. That jab stops halfway, that energy they used to feed on fades away. Setting strong boundaries right away is the most powerful step you can take when dealing with toxic people. The second you allow even a tiny violation of your space, your time, or your dignity, you send a silent message. You are telling them it is fine to treat you that way. Toxic individuals are highly skilled at sensing hesitation and doubt. They thrive on it because it gives them control without resistance. Boundaries are not simply rules for other people. They are statements of self-respect. When you set a boundary, you define your limits and show the world what you will tolerate and what you will not. This does not mean you need to shout, argue, or create a scene. It can be as simple as calmly stating that a behavior is unacceptable or removing yourself from a situation the moment someone crosses the line. The clarity of your action communicates strength far better than anger or frustration ever could. Consistency is everything. If you set a boundary once but allow it to be crossed later, you undo the authority you just claimed. Toxic people will test again and again to see if your limits are real, so you must enforce them every time without hesitation. This creates a clear pattern. Respect is not up for debate, and violations come with consequences. Setting boundaries also protects your emotional and mental energy. By clearly defining what is acceptable, you prevent endless manipulation, guilt trips, or passive-aggressive behavior from draining you. Boundaries are like armor. They keep toxicity at a safe distance and create an environment where only healthy interactions can survive. Acting immediately, the first time toxic behavior shows up, is important because it sets the standard from the beginning. Waiting, doubting, or making excuses only teaches the toxic person that they can push further, which makes it harder to take your power back later. This is the foundation of self-respect and the key to never being disrespected again. The power of one action is often ignored, but it can completely reshape how toxic people treat you. Many believe that respect must be earned over time through constant effort, confrontation, or proving yourself again and again. That is not true. In reality, one strong, well-timed action can define all future interactions. Toxic individuals are always testing for weaknesses, checking boundaries, and searching for hesitation. They depend on your silence to push limits further. The moment you act with certainty, you break that pattern and send a clear signal. You are not someone to manipulate or look down on. This one action does not need to be dramatic. It does not require yelling, fighting, or revenge. It can be as simple as firmly stating your limit, walking away from a conversation that crosses the line, or protecting your time and energy. What truly matters is clarity and decisiveness. Once you take that step, it sets a precedent. The toxic person often understands immediately that the situation has changed. They see that their behavior has consequences, and that future attempts to disrespect you will be met with the same firmness. This creates a shift in power. You are no longer a passive participant allowing disrespect to continue. You are now in control, deciding what is acceptable and what is not. Over time, this single decisive move often prevents repeated disrespect because it demonstrates confidence, dignity, and authority. It shows the toxic individual that you cannot be toyed with, and they adjust their behavior instinctively. The powerful part is that you do not need to constantly repeat yourself if the action is clear and unwavering. One firm act done correctly can permanently change how people deal with you, creating a new standard of respect they know they cannot cross. Refusing to negotiate with disrespect is a principle many struggle to accept because it feels uncomfortable to confront someone or draw a firm line. Yet toxic individuals depend on negotiation, debate, and excuses because those situations allow them to manipulate and control the story. They want you to justify why their behavior was wrong. They want you to explain your feelings or lower your standards, and every time you do that, a piece of your authority fades. The truth is simple. Disrespect is not open for discussion. When someone crosses the line, arguing or trying to reason with them only gives them more space to twist the situation. Instead, treat disrespect as a firm boundary. You do not need to explain, apologize, or debate. Your job is to make it clear that certain behaviors are unacceptable. That is it. Toxic people constantly test limits. The moment you leave even a small opening for negotiation, they see it as weakness. They will push harder, escalate further, and test your patience until they find the smallest crack to use against you. By refusing to negotiate, you remove that advantage completely. This does not mean being aggressive or disrespectful. It means responding with calm strength and standing your ground every single time. For example, if someone speaks to you in a condescending tone, a simple and firm response like, "I do not accept that tone," or choosing to walk away shows your boundary clearly without giving them a chance to argue or justify themselves. The more you treat disrespect as a matter of principle instead of a topic for debate, the faster toxic people either adjust their behavior or remove themselves from your life. This approach changes the entire dynamic. They realize that guilt tactics or provocation will not work. Over time, this steady stance stops their attempts to undermine you. Once you truly accept that disrespect is non-negotiable, you gain power, clarity, and freedom in every interaction. Self-respect is one of the most powerful tools when dealing with toxic people, yet it is often ignored. Toxic individuals are not threatened by your achievements or your words. They are threatened by your self-worth. When you value yourself deeply and show that your dignity cannot be bargained with, they lose the control they rely on. This is not about ego or arrogance. It is about a steady and unshakable understanding of your own limits, needs, and values. When you respect yourself, you naturally show confidence. That confidence changes how others respond to you. Toxic people are experts at spotting hesitation and self-doubt because those are the doors they push open. But self-respect closes those doors firmly. It allows you to respond to disrespect not with emotional explosions, but with calm, intentional action. If someone tries to insult you or question your authority, self-respect gives you the strength to address it clearly or disengage completely without guilt. It builds a mindset where you protect your energy and well-being instead of trying to win approval from someone who does not value you. The moment you understand that your worth does not depend on their opinion, you take away their ability to hurt you emotionally. This does not mean you stay silent in the face of poor behavior. It means you respond from strength, not desperation. Self-respect becomes both your shield and your guide. It directs your choices, your reactions, and your standards. It helps you enforce boundaries consistently, choose wisely where to invest your energy, and stay in control of your emotions. Toxic people may still test you. They may provoke, push, or attempt to intimidate. But when you are grounded in true self-respect, their tactics stop working. You remain steady. You remain clear. You remain unshaken. And that inner strength is what ensures they can never truly disrespect you again. If you are tired of being walked over, understand this clearly. Boundaries are not optional. They are necessary. And applying them once with complete clarity is often enough to reset the entire relationship dynamic. Consistency is what turns one firm action into lasting respect. It is what separates temporary reactions from permanent change. Many people enforce a boundary once in a moment of frustration, only to relax it later. Toxic individuals notice inconsistency immediately. If you respond strongly today but excuse behavior tomorrow, you teach them that your limits depend on your mood. That makes your boundaries weak. Consistency is not about being harsh. It is about being reliable. It creates a predictable structure where your limits are always honored. Every time you enforce a boundary, you reinforce the lesson. Disrespect leads to consequences. Over time, this repeated pattern reshapes how people approach you. They stop testing because they already know the outcome. They understand that pushing you will not bring reward, attention, or control. It will only bring distance and firmness. When you reach this point, something powerful happens. Toxic people either adjust or disappear, and in both cases, you win. You keep your dignity, you protect your peace, you maintain control over your energy and your environment. And it all begins with one simple decision. Stop tolerating disrespect. Act once with clarity. Hold that line without apology. And watch how quickly the world changes the way it treats you. The toxic person's awareness of your limits. They begin to understand that any effort to manipulate, provoke, or cross the line will be met with the same steady and firm response every single time, giving them very little motivation to keep trying. Beyond influencing their behavior, consistency also builds your own confidence and strengthens how you see yourself. Each time you stand your ground, you reinforce your sense of control, proving to yourself that you are fully capable of defending your values and protecting your emotional space. It also removes the mental exhaustion that comes from doubting yourself or constantly negotiating with toxic behavior, because the standard you set is clear and unchanging. Consistency makes sure that your boundaries are not temporary statements but permanent parts of your interactions. This reliability creates an environment where respect becomes automatic instead of conditional. Toxic individuals quickly recognize that they cannot persuade you, tire you out, or catch you unprepared. By enforcing boundaries in a consistent way, you not only protect yourself in the present moment, but you also create a lasting pattern that prevents future disrespect, forming a space where only healthy and respectful interactions can survive. Silence is a tool much more powerful than most people understand when dealing with toxic individuals because it removes the reaction they depend on. Toxic people survive on responses, whether it is anger, frustration, guilt, or even long explanations, because every reaction confirms their behavior and gives them a feeling of control. By choosing silence instead of arguing, you take away that power. Silence is not weakness. It is an active display of control that communicates limits without needing words or confrontation. When someone tries to provoke you, the natural impulse is often to defend yourself, justify what you did, or point out their behavior. While this may feel satisfying for a short moment, it strengthens the exact dynamic they want, which is you reacting emotionally to their manipulation. Refusing to react forces them to face the fact that their tactics do not work on you. It creates discomfort for them because they are used to getting a reaction from others. And when that reaction does not come, they lose momentum and emotional energy. Silence can also act as a strong sign of disapproval or boundary setting. A calm withdrawal, stepping back from a conversation, or simply declining to engage with provocation often communicates more about your limits than a long explanation ever could. This approach also protects your mental and emotional well-being, allowing you to save your energy for interactions that are constructive instead of draining. Over time, toxic people learn that attempts to disrespect or manipulate you will be met with this calm and non-reactive attitude, which slowly reduces their desire to test your boundaries. By using silence with intention, you control the emotional atmosphere, keep your composure, and enforce your limits without creating unnecessary drama. It changes interactions from emotional chaos into steady strength, giving you control without conflict, and making it clear that disrespect will not produce the reaction they are looking for. Managing your energy is one of the most overlooked strategies when dealing with toxic people, yet it is absolutely necessary for maintaining control and protecting your well-being. Toxic individuals are skilled at spotting weaknesses, emotional triggers, and areas where they can drain your focus or provoke a response. Every encounter with them has the potential to consume your mental, emotional, and even physical energy if you are not careful. The key is learning to treat your attention and emotional investment as valuable assets instead of giving them freely to someone who feeds on conflict. This starts with awareness, recognizing when someone is trying to manipulate, guilt, or provoke you, and consciously deciding how much energy, if any, you are willing to give them. You do not need to answer every comment, defend every choice, or repeat your boundaries again and again. By intentionally choosing when to engage and when to step away, you preserve energy for people and situations that truly deserve your time and respect. Energy management also requires emotional distance in the moment. You observe behavior calmly rather than reacting automatically. Toxic individuals often attempt to escalate situations to create drama because drama strengthens their sense of control. But when you manage your energy wisely, their attempts to provoke you gradually lose effectiveness. This habit not only protects you from immediate harm, but it also establishes patterns that prevent future disrespect, because toxic people quickly see that manipulating you no longer gives them emotional rewards. In addition, managing your energy allows you to respond strategically, calmly, and with clear intention when action is required, instead of reacting from frustration or exhaustion. It is a quiet form of strength, a way of guiding the interaction without open confrontation. By valuing and guarding your emotional and mental energy, you clearly show that your time, focus, and peace of mind are not available for misuse or manipulation. Immediate recognition of toxicity is an essential skill that can save you from long periods of emotional stress and prevent repeated disrespect. Toxic behavior rarely begins with obvious aggression. It often starts subtly with small insults, manipulative remarks, passive-aggressive comments, or gentle tests of your boundaries. If these early warning signs are ignored or excused, they can grow into harmful patterns that become much harder to handle later. The key is training yourself to notice these behaviors as soon as they appear and treating them as warning signals rather than isolated incidents. Recognizing toxicity early allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally, giving you more control in the interaction. This awareness is both instinctive and logical. It includes noticing patterns, understanding possible motives, and trusting your intuition when something feels uncomfortable. Once you identify a toxic pattern, you can take intentional steps to protect yourself. Whether that means setting stronger boundaries, reducing contact, or walking away completely, delaying action often leads to greater harm over time. Toxic people rely on hesitation and uncertainty, slowly testing how far they can push before meeting resistance. Early recognition also prevents you from investing emotionally in someone who is unlikely to treat you with respect. By identifying toxicity quickly, you protect your time, conserve your energy, and preserve your mental clarity, redirecting those resources toward healthy relationships and meaningful goals. This skill strengthens your self-respect because it shows that you are alert, wise, and unwilling to accept behavior that damages your dignity. Toxic individuals become discouraged when they meet someone who recognizes their patterns immediately because it removes the element of surprise and control they depend on. Over time, practicing early recognition builds a protective structure around your life, helping you maintain clarity, calmness, and authority in your interactions. Immediate awareness of toxicity is not only protective, it is empowering. It gives you the understanding and confidence to ensure that disrespect never becomes normal in your world. The truth is straightforward. Respect is not gained through endless explanations, constant compromise, or silent tolerance. It is established through clarity, firm decisions, and strong self-worth. Toxic people will always search for openings, but the moment you respond with clear boundaries, steady consistency, and genuine self-respect, their influence over you fades away. One clear action, the refusal to negotiate with disrespect, the intentional use of silence, and the careful protection of your energy. These are not short-term solutions. They are lasting changes in how others see and treat you. Recognizing toxicity immediately, And answering with confidence sends a strong message that you are not optional, not negotiable, and not someone to be taken lightly. When you fully adopt these principles, you create a life where disrespect has no place, where your mental and emotional space is guarded, and where your boundaries are respected without exception. It all starts with one deliberate choice to stand up for yourself. And once you make that choice, a new pattern begins. Toxic people quickly learn that your dignity is not something they can touch. They either adjust their behavior or remove themselves from your life completely. Do this once and you establish a standard that lasts for years. Respect, control, and peace of mind are not handed to you by others. They are claimed through your actions. And now the decision to claim them is in your hands.